Hey guys, another plant vlog here, and this is for my filodendro-brazil. Um, I've had her for a few weeks, I think, or a few months. I just haven't really, I think I've just forgotten to vlog, and I've just been extremely busy with other things. So here she is, and I love that she came with like these gigantic leaves. These are new growth right here. This right here, and of course right here with a sheath on there. And I noticed there's some new growth on here too. Right there, and of course right there. And if this one's already dead, might as well just take that off. Oh, I just kind of ruined that. I took the sheath off, sorry. I'm sorry for my baby. But so this is what a filodendro-brazil look like. I was really looking for one really like crazy at some point, and finally I found one. And this is what she is. Because it's a philodendron, and it's this type of philodendron, which is kind of the heart leaf, I think that's what it's called. And this is the Brazil variegation. So the Brazil variegation is yellow in the middle and then a green on the outside. That's what the Brazil would be. There is a different one, which is white, I think, and it's a different variegation to that. I didn't really mind finding a small one of this because a philodendron, I think it's also a scandens, but a Brazil variety, but I could be wrong, so I apologize in advance if I am wrong. So the reason that I don't really mind doing that, and if anybody else out there is also kind of worried if you're getting a tiny plant, this plant is very fast growing. I actually prefer philodendron versus a pothos. I just prefer it. It just, to me, it does grow faster than a pothos. A pothos can grow fast, but like if this was a pothos size, this wouldn't really grow this much this soon or this quickly already. So that's a big difference. Like maybe in a few weeks, I'd have growth from a pothos, but from a philodendron, you'll get the growth really quickly. For me anyway, this one sits about 10 feet away from an east-facing window because I feel like my philodendron scandens, the plain green one, that one, even across the room at about 10 feet, that one can even scorch. So this one, from what I've noticed with variegated plants or leaves, when you have the variegation, you want to make sure they do get enough light, but you want to make sure they get the intensity of light that they can handle. Because some of them, if they're already, the regular version is already a medium or a low light, and you give them about the same, but it's a lighter variegation. Like if this was a white, this would already burn in the same spot. So just make sure if you are interested in variegated leaves or variegated plants, that when you do get a light variegation, you might want to make sure it's getting a little less intensity of light, not necessarily the length of light, but the intensity. The closer you are to a window, the higher the intensity would be. So I just make sure it's like that. So this one just sits next to the regular one. The only difference is the other one will have, it's about maybe 1 to 2 feet closer to the window. That's it. So far, there is no burning whatsoever. So I'm really happy about that. I just want this baby to grow and keep growing and growing and growing. And hopefully one day when this is too dangly and I'm brave enough, I'm going to start trimming them off below the node, which would be, a node would be where the leaves started to grow. Like right here, and this is an area root. So what you would do is you'd cut right here, right below it, never above. If you cut above, you are not going to get roots. It's from what I have read. That's what you usually do with a philodendron. It's similar to a pothos. And if you want to look like right here, there's kind of a line right here. You cut right here underneath it, or just beneath it. Make sure it's not above, it's below the node. And you can just pop that in whatever medium you want, or you can water propagate it. From my personal experience, I feel like I am better with some kind of medium and not just water propagation for whatever reason. I just don't know, but for whatever reason, I do better with it. My plants seem to take rather quicker, and I have more success. And so when that happens, I can try to propagate it, but because this is just the full propagation, this might be a little hard to propagate, but we'll see. We'll see. It already has an aerial root. As long as maybe I have this one with it, maybe it'll work out. But I would, my plan for this so far currently is I do want to make it bushy, and I do want to elongate it going up. So what I plan to do first is to propagate it obviously first. And when I do have enough, I want it to go upwards. And what I'm planning to do is just get a moss pole, which I already have, stick it in the soil. And I already have the, I forgot what they're called, but there's something that you can insert in that will keep the vine in place. So that's what I'm planning to do. I also do have some plant clips that I could use. It just depends on what will happen. But when it comes to a moss or like a coco coir moss pole, I feel like because it's going to be extremely covered throughout the entire coco coir, that decorating it with some plant clips for like a really cute one. If you haven't seen my other ones that I use for my Hoyas, like I don't feel like they're really gonna pop. So I am thinking of just using like I forgot what they're like elongated staplers. Or I could just use like a plain one, but I think the elongated stapler kind of ones, I don't know what they're called. I'm sorry. I think those will just be fine. So, what I use is regular potting soil from Schultz, and, I think I water her once a week. And again, she sits about 10 feet, 9 to 10 feet away from an east facing window. And, I feel like a pothos is a very forgiving plant, but I feel like a philodendron is a much more forgiving plant. So if you've never had a philodendron, which I've had a pothos before I had a philodendron, and I always thought like a pothos is such an easy plant to have, this would be a much, much easier plant to even have. So if you're just starting on house plants, you might only have one and you got the bug and you want more, this is definitely something that you can try, and I would definitely recommend. The vining philodendron is definitely the I forgot there's a different term for this one, but I don't know if it's a Scandens or like Scandens Brazil or like something else, but so I apologize for that. But this come in like a regular green, which I do have, and then the Brazil, and then they have something in a white. So, and then they have the Micans, I think, and they have a lemon lime. So if you want to do that, I would prefer start with the all green one because it would be the easiest to care of. Always start with the non-variegated one. Once you're comfortable with the plant itself, then, put 1 foot in with a variegated version, because a variegated version can be tricky and can be a little harder for a new lover or a new plant lover or a newbie. So you have to be very careful with that. And this is just so bizarre, because if you asked me the same thing last year, if I would like variegated leaves, I probably would not. Like, I hated them before. I don't know why. I just always thought that I was just more drawn into the plain green. That was just me. So I hope you enjoyed my video. You're going to check the description section. My social media accounts are there. And of course, if you do follow me on Instagram already, you probably already seen me post this. I post on my Instagram like probably the most. And then I like to interact on Facebook a lot. And I hope you enjoy my video. You can hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and of course the bell so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. I will try to update this plant once, there is some kind of great progress. I'm hoping like maximum elapsed time would be like 1 year, or I'm because this plant is so fast growing. Let's see what will happen in like a few months, but I'm thinking maximum would be 1 year. Once it hit 1 year, I need to do an update. So this is my filodendro-brazil. And everything else that I do use to water her currently will be down in the description section. I get a lot of questions about what I water my plants, why they're just exploding all the time, why they're so lush and healthy and big and yada, yada, yada. And I don't have any secrets. I always share it with everybody. It's just some people don't want to believe it, or some people just don't feel like they need to use it. Some people just say, like my mother-in-law keeps saying, I just have a green thumb. You just have a green thumb. You just have a green. Like I always tell her, like, I don't have a secret. It's not like that. I think it's just that I'm just very, very observant, and I give my plants fertilizer and supplements, and I'm just very organized when it comes to taking care of them. That's just it. There's no like crazy secret out there. As long as you hit all the requirements for the plant, they're always going to thrive. Always, always. So just hit the requirements. You do minimum, medium, maximum requirements. Like you will see a big difference in the growth and the health of the plant. So this is my filodendro-brazil, and I'll see you guys again next time. Before I forget, if you guys have any questions, comments, tips, advice, anything at all, hit the comment section and let's hear what you got to say. If it's any tips and tricks, let me know down below. I am very new to philodendron. This is my third philodendron. I would love to hear from anybody. If you have tips and tricks, like I said, go right ahead. And if you want to show me your babies, go right ahead. You want to talk about this plant, you want to talk about gardening, you want to talk about plants, go right ahead down below. I love hearing from you guys and conversing with you guys all the time. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.